Alright, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a deck profile over the Sunavalon archetype. Sadly, this is technically a re-upload, since I already did do a video about this. But apparently, the audio cut out about halfway through, so looks like we're doing it again. So basically, the whole structure of the deck is to get out your Link 4, which is basically kind of like your boss monster. So I'm just going to get its effects out of the way. So yeah, so basically it lets you search out the one trap card, which basically kind of coincides with this Link monster, since whenever you summon Thrasher out, you target a Link monster and it gains 800 off of that monster's Link rating. So this is a Link 4, it gains 32, already has 800, so that makes 4,000. And then so since it's pointing to this, you activate Sunavalon Bloom, and bam, this now becomes also 4,000. So it does have a little bit of an OTK element to it. And that's pretty much like the base combo of what you're trying to do, but I will go into combos on how to actually get that end board in a minute. So let's just get the ball rolling. Triple Sunseed Genius Loki, pretty simple. That's the card that you need for all of your links almost. And his counterpart, Sunseed Shadow. This card can special summon itself from hand as long as you control a Sunseed Genius Loki on your field, and can banish itself. And if you control a Sunavalon on the field, you can banish your Shadow and then summon out another one from the extra deck. So that's pretty cool. Next, for just generic plant support, we do run triple Evil Thorn and triple Lone Fire Blossom. So Lone Fire Blossom is just a consistency buff to make sure Sunseed Genius Loki is getting out onto the field every single turn. And Evil Thorn is just kind of good for the link climbing aspect of the deck, which does actually, you know, it's very important to it. Sorry. And then for normal monster support, just to make sure this guy's always getting out of the field, is Rescue Rabbit. And basically it distributes itself off to special summon 2 normal monsters from your deck. And now for a little bit of the hand trap section. Okay, so Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler just negates an opponent's monster's effect on their main phase. And Sunvine Maiden. Sunvine Maiden. Basically, if anything targets one of your plant link monsters, you can just set this card and it negates the effect. So pretty cool. For a little bit more of, I guess, tech options, we do have double Trick Clown, double Parallel Exceed to help with link plays, and then we do run a rank 4, and then Performance Trick Clown, since it can be sent off with the effects of Sunvine Shrine, and then you can special summon itself, and I'll see why that comes into play later. And next, for more of the one-ofs, World Caraway Champion, Evil Swarm Mandragora, Sunseed Twin, and Rose Lover. So Rose Lover, banish itself from the graveyard, get special summon another plant from hand. Sunseed Twin, basically you can banish it and a Link monster, and as long as you have 2 other Link monsters in your graveyard of the same name, so let's say you had 2 Thrashers, and you had another healer engraved. You banish these 2, you get to special summon back one of your Thrashers. Alright, and then it also has the effect whenever it's normal or special summoned, you get to bring back one of your Sunseed Lokis from your graveyard. So, for consistency purposes, I think it just adds an extra element of getting that monster out of the field every single turn. This is just if you're going second, and it can basically special summon itself to your side of the field as long as your opponent controls a monster. Well, actually more monsters than you do. And then World Caraway Champion. World Caraway Champion is just if it's in the graveyard, you can send a plant from hand or field, and then it can special summon itself to the field. Now let's go into spells and traps. So for consistency, triple Unexpected Die, great starter card for the deck. Special summons this guy from deck, for those who do not know. Where Art Thou? This is a level 1 deck. Coinciding with that, we do run 1/1-for-1. Just, we kind of have to. So basically, these are just going to make sure you're always getting those level 1s you need. Sunvine Shrine. Now this is actually really important to know what it does. So basically, you play it, you discard a card to activate its effect, but you are locked into plant monsters. And it basically lets you summon back one of these from the graveyard, and it is searchable off of the deck's Link 1, Sunavalon Dryas, and that is why you at least play 2 of these guys, since that effect is very important for combos. And now for the other one of spell cards, Foolish Burial. Send a monster from deck to graveyard. Called by the grave. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and then negate the effects of that monster and monsters with the same name on the field. Pot of Avarice, since this deck does kind of go through resources a little bit fast. And so, yeah, and plus the draw 2 is honestly really nice. And then the single trap, Sunavalon Bloom. Sunavalon Bloom basically is only for your Link 4 and can only be activated when you have the Link 4 on the field. It says any Link 4, but realistically you're going to want to have the Sunavalon one. So let me just make sure I get this effect completely correct. When this card is activated, if you control a Link 4 or higher plant monster, when this effect resolves, negate all effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. During damage calculation, if your plant Link monster battles, you can activate this card effect. It gains attack equal to the combined attack of monsters it currently points to until the end of this turn. These effects remain even if this card leaves the field. You can only use the effect of Sunavalon Bloom once per turn. You can only activate one Sunavalon Bloom per turn. So that just ensures that this guy, this guy does not leave the field. And this is your boss monster. It's basically going to buff up everything else. We do also run the Link 3 and 2 of the Link 1s. This is your main searcher. This is going to get us into the Sunvine Shrine, so that's very helpful. And then Sunavalon Dryano basically has the exact same effects as this, except does not search out Sunavalon Shrine, or Sunvine Shrine, sorry. So yeah, and it is also a plant, just Link 3, and if you cannot get out your Link 4, I would say Link 3 is just as good, because that still gets your Thrasher to 3,200, and that's still kind of a pretty heavy beat stick. But yeah, all of them have the effect, I believe, yeah, so basically, if you take any damage, they can special summon another Sunvine monster from the extra deck. And we do run at least 4 of those. Triple Thrasher. I might want to do double healers, just so I don't have to waste Thrashers, but yeah. So those two both have this effect. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And then Link 4 has a little bit of a different effect, and this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects and cannot be targeted for attacks, but it does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. Once per turn, you contribute 1 Link monster this card points to destroy any number of cards your opponent controls up to that monster's Link rating. That's a really good boss monster effect. So basically, it's just free destruction. Now let's go on to the actual Sunvine cards. There is one more, Sunvine Gardna, but I do not think he's actually that good. All of them do sadly have the effect that if a Sunavalon Link monster leaves the field, they also get destroyed. I wish it said destroyed and not just leave the field, because it's kind of annoying. But I guess all of the Sunvine monsters do have to target a Link to then have their effects proxy off. So this just targets a Link on the field, and it gains 100 for that monster's Link rating. And this one just basically gives you back 300 life points per that monster's Link rating. Pretty simple. And for a Link 2, Aramarcy Jasmine. So this card just basically you can target a monster on the field, and then you can destroy it, and then summon out another plant monster from your deck. Really simple. And also, if your life points are higher than your opponent's, your plant monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay, cool. Link Spider, normal monster support, level 1s, so of course a Link Creepo. And for a little bit more just generic links, a Nightmare Unicorn and a Nightmare Phoenix. Alright, so those are more of the generic links. I'll probably sub out the Link Spider for another healer, but that's just optional. And a Digesto Emerald, since he does target normal monsters in the graveyard or non-effect monsters to bring back, so it does actually help, and getting that extra draw while also getting back resources is pretty good. So now let's go into the combo. Basically what you're going to need for the combo is a Performance Trick Clown and a little guy called Rescue Rabbit. As you can already tell from the deck's like layout, this is very much a monster heavy deck. So yeah. Alright, let's give that a quick little shuffle. We don't really need to actually shuffle. So first move, Rescue Rabbit. Activate Rescue Rabbit effect to search out 2 Sunseed Genies Loki. Now you're going to link off 1, and that's going to let you go into a Sunavalon Dryas. Sunavalon Dryas, since this was used as link material, will be able to activate its effect. Also, his effect to search for Sunvine Shrine only activates if it's used with Sunseed Genius Loki. Probably should have mentioned that a little bit before, since that's why he's so important to the strategy, because literally only him can like do anything. So Sunvine Shrine is Performance Trick Clown, which then lets you special summon back your Loki from graveyard, and then Trick Clown also gets special summon himself back, and you take 1,000, which then activates Dryas' effect to then get a Sunvine Healer. You link both of these two off to then get Mercy Jasmine and Trick Clowns and one of the link arrows, so you destroy Trick Clown, and you get a Evil Thorn. Evil Thorn then activates effect to tribute itself to then summon out 2 more Evil Thorns from the deck and also inflict 300 to your opponent. So you summon out 2 more Evil Thorns. And as you can already tell, we built quite a hefty board. I've considered running the Link 2 for the Sunavalons, but I've just never gotten around to getting it. So then we Link Climb to the Link 4, which then lets us search out the trap. Sunavalon Bloom. And this is a 2-card combo, which means realistically you still have 3 other cards, so you add this to hand, and then you play it, and then you link either one or both off into a Sunvine Thrasher. And they both have 400 attack as long as you target the link 4, and then whenever this activates, he will technically have 8,000 attack. And normally, as long as none of that gets negated, the deck will run pretty smoothly. I would say the only thing that is a problem with it is that, firstly, that's the generic combo. That's what you're trying to achieve every single time. As you can see, if even one thing really got negated, it would kind of like have a lot harder of a time. That would be the only flaw, I would say, with this deck. But other than that, I think the deck works pretty well. So yeah, and honestly, it's all user preference, hand traps, everything like that. But if you're just looking for a fun, not really meta deck, but like one that could build a decent board, then I would honestly recommend picking it up, since a lot of the cards are like literally under $1. And they are pretty new, so they should be getting later support as the years go on. And we always love that, don't we? So, that's it for the deck profile. And see you later. See you next time.